Good evening, everyone. We're here for another regular meeting of the Urbana Community Development Commission, and I'll now call the meeting to order. Next, we have a roll call.
Fred Cobb.
Here.
Michael Braun.
Here.
I'm sorry, Michael Brown. Chris Diana.
Here.
Ann Hines Silvis.
Here.
Karen Hodgen-Jones.
Here.
Jerry Moreland.
Here.
Abdul Hakim Salam.
Here.
James Winston. Here. Everyone's here and we have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, next we have approval or correction of the meeting minutes from July 25th. So we'll take a moment, review those, after which I'll entertain a motion for approval or corrections.
I noticed that we have the wrong date on the top of the minutes, so I've noticed one thing that we will correct. Yes.
June 27th. Okay. Okay, I think we've allowed enough time for review of the minutes. I'll entertain a motion for approval or modifications.
I move to approve the minutes as written.
We have a motion to approve the minutes from July 25th, 2017 as written. Is there a second? Have a second? Okay. Any comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the minutes stand approved as written. Okay, next we have petitions and communications. Do you have anything that falls under that category?
No, we don't.
Okay. Audience participation, I don't think we have that either. Okay, next we have staff report.
Okay, so I'll just point out the highlights in the staff briefing that was mailed out to you, showing accomplishments, updates, and activities since our last meeting. And we have actually had no written communication from HUD. I looked back through our file, and there was no letters, no nothing from HUD. Of course, we receive emails and updates about that and phone calls, but no communication, no letters from HUD. So. Good thing, I guess. We submitted our annual action plan after some changes and updates we needed to do. So we resubmitted that, and now they're reviewing it, and hopefully that will get approved. Once that's approved, then we should be getting our funding. We're also continuing to coordinate with the Village of Rantoul on administering their CDBG program, providing technical assistance as needed, and worked on their CAPER, which is now out for public comment. So I'm working with them on that. You can see the other things, budgets and subrecipient agreements, and managing the social service funding distribution process, community development coordinator doing that. Listed here are Randy's rehab projects and a number of applications that have been taken and approved for all the different programs. And then the abandoned properties program, we were contacted by IDA that's up and running. We have to start submitting reports, which we did. And then also doing drawdowns for last fiscal year and working on activities for this fiscal year. And then you can see the other meetings that we've attended, the regular meetings that occur on a monthly basis. And then I also attended the Midwest Community Development Institute in Moline for the advanced year, August 8th through 10th. And Ann was there as well as the year one
Class
director, yes. So, so that's the activity that we've done since last meeting. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, comments on the staff report? Well, thank you very much. Next, we have old business. Nothing under old business. And next is new business. Under new business, we have a resolution approving an emergency solutions grant program subrecipient agreement with Crisis Nursery, fiscal year 2017-18. And also a resolution approving an emergency solutions grant program subrecipient agreement with United Way, New Covenant Fellowship Church, and Faith United Methodist Church, fiscal year 2017-18. I noticed those were together in your report?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are both under the Emergency Solutions Grant. The application we submitted through the Continuum of Care, and so these two agencies or programs were approved by the Continuum of Care and then approved by Department of Human Services for funding under the Emergency Solutions Grant. And as required, we are bringing before you resolutions for the agreements. Those are required of any funding source that we have. Where we have an agreement with them, then we have to do agreements with our subrecipients. So this was pretty straightforward with the Crisis Nursery agreement between us and Crisis Nursery. But the United Way, this is actually for, it was a pilot program that United Way did with these other entities for an men's emergency shelter that was to address serving men that because of Time Center Level 1 and Salvation Army Stepping Stone shelters closing. So, and the pilot program was this past winter. I believe it proved helpful and addressing a need. So United Way is the fiscal agent, and they applied on behalf of these other two. So the shelter is at New Covenant Fellowship Church and is manned by personnel from Faith United Methodist Church. So that's why we have all these entities together. And we met with our legal department on how do we do an agreement. You know, should it be just with United Way? Should we include the others? And they felt and agreed that we should have all parties because we need information from all of them. United Way, as the fiscal agent, would be providing financial reporting. The personnel, Faith United Methodist Church, would be providing reporting on who is being served, and then with New Covenant actually having it on site there. So that's why we have all these parties. So we submitted the application in May, and then received notice from DHS in June, and then signed a program agreement with them the end of July. So from there, I will let Matt take over and add anything that I might have missed, and then we'll take any questions you might have.
Sure. I just wanted to add the purpose of the Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG, is more of a support for emergency shelters. At the past meeting, we brought agreements to you for the HOME program, which is helping people to move into affordable permanent housing situations. This is addressing needs that are a little bit more immediate than that. This is helping people who need people or their children who need shelter in an emergency situation. And that's hence the name of this program, and that's what the funding is being used for, to keep emergency shelters open and moving along with the continuum of care. The people in those shelters would then be able to transition into permanent housing opportunities where our funding through the HOME program and Community Development Block Grant would be able to assist them. So basically, I wanted to point out the role that this funding plays in the grander scheme of things and in our larger plans and initiatives.
And it also covers essential social services that are provided, and then any operational costs that the agencies may have as well. And with that, if there's any questions, please let us know.
Questions? I've got one. Under the fiscal impact, states there will be no fiscal impact on the city general fund. I was wondering about any effect on community development funds or activities. Is there any effect?
No, this is all funded by, let me take that back, the agencies, and we do get some administration to cover this, administering of this program in these agencies. So on City General Fund, there is no impact. And on our Community Development Block Grant, not really, except maybe some administration, because it can cover other administrative costs for other grants. But there are some administrative funds that go to us from this grant. Same, it doesn't affect the HOME grant either. So, not, does that answer your question? Not really. It doesn't really impact any other of our programs.
So not really.
No, not really. You know, you could say that the administrative amount that we get doesn't fully cover maybe the work that we do on this grant,
Yeah.
but we do get some administration.
From these funds?
Hmm?
From these
For
funds?
these funds, yes, we do.
Okay. Any other?
The $600 that you have listed in the budget, that's the
Yes.
admin that comes back to the city.
I had a quick question about some of the data that's has to be gathered by these agencies and reported back. So, for example, in one of the later documents, and I apologize, it doesn't have page numbers, so I can't say specifically what page it's on, but it says NCF shall gather shelter client data using the format approved by the Champaign County Continuum of Care and submit shelter client data to the city's Grants Management Division at least once every 7 days when the shelter is open to clients. I'm wondering, what does that data look like, and what do you guys do with it?
So what that entails is they will take, they'll interview each of the clients who goes to the shelter and take answers to the questions that they have about demographics and background, and put them onto a sheet that has been identified by the Continuum of Care. And that's a standardized form that's used at Crisis Nursery, at Courage Connection, other agencies in the area. And they will then give that information to us, as I've noted in the agreement, once every 7 days. And the reason for that is none of the agencies that we are partnering with for the emergency men's shelter have a license for the Homeless Management Information System, but the City of Urbana does. So we were approached by the Regional Planning Commission to partner with them, take their data and put it into HMIS, and that way it'll be reported and we meet federal requirements for doing so without forcing any of the agencies to get an HMIS license.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? If not, we have three options. We can forward the resolutions approving the ESG agreements with Crisis Nursery, United Way Men's Shelter, and the church with a recommendation for approval, or we can forward it with suggested changes, or we can recommend that it not, we can not approve of the resolution. So with that, I'll entertain a motion for one of those three options. Someone like to make a motion?
I would like to move that we forward the agreement on as written to be approved.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to forward this issue with a recommendation for approval as written. Is there any other comment? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the motion carries. Okay, that exhausts our agenda for the evening. Are there any other issues that commissioners would like to raise at this point? If not, I'll suggest that this meeting be adjourned, and thank you for your participation. Okay, anything else?
Well, that was all we had.
Okay.
We should